Hi, Ben from the North American Guitar, and this is probably the most special talking guitar that we've ever done because TNAG is in California and we are currently at Rick Turner Guitars with the one and only Mr. Rick Turner.
Thank you very much for coming here. Yeah. Great to have you here, Ben. You know.
I know. Do you know what? I feel that we live in a world where we're just always hidden behind emails.
Yeah, right.
And doing business with you, being over in the UK, just to sort of talk face to face, have a hug.
Absolutely, yeah.
Look at the guitars that we've got in build at the moment is just amazing.
That's great. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I got when I kind of arrived, apart from the amazing greeting, was you really do get a sense that, I mean, I know it sounds ridiculous, but it all starts with the tree here.
Yes, it does.
It really, I mean,
yeah.
there are there's proper trees that have just been, they are.
Yeah, we have pieces of trees here
Literally.
that we turn into guitars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were walking through and you were just, as they were soaring some today, you were like, yeah, that's going to make, 6 or 7 M1s right there.
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah, and we buy some of our wood from the usual sources, lumber yards and lutherie specialty places, but we also get a fair amount of wood that's locally sourced. Up in the Santa Cruz Mountains behind us, we got redwood, black acacia, some maple, myrtle, which is a California bay laurel, some walnut, and I love working with these relatively local woods. I mean, we build guitars often with wood that grew maybe 8 miles from my shop here. So it's great,
And so you just come off and we obviously bumped into each other at NAMM, and it was quite an intense experience for you, isn't it? I mean, I know every NAMM must be, but this was
it was the wildest NAMM that we've ever had. We basically sold everything in the booth, and we started into NAMM with phenomenal orders from you.
Yeah.
So it was, you helped kick off a great year for us that's coming up. Yeah.
For us, over the other side of the pond, it just felt like last year was a really buzzy year.
Yeah.
For you, for the level of output that you were producing, but also the level of quality that we were seeing on the market is amazing.
I have this fantastic crew here.
Yeah.
And they're all young guys, dedicated to this craft and this art, and I couldn't do it without them. They're great, and they've helped us grow in the last year. We grew about 24% last year, and looks like we're on track to do it again this year. Partly thanks to you.
Well, because it is that thing. It's like the M1 is almost like this mythical, guitar. Well, it was for a while, not so much anymore.
Yeah.
But it was like that's the guitar that Lindsay was playing, and people would call up and say, "Can you get one of these? Is this true?
Yeah.
You can get one of these." So it's just been amazing because we've been working together for about 4, maybe 5 years now.
Yeah.
And just to see how the attention and the orders that come through us for the M1 and also for the Model T, and I know that we've been talking about bringing some more of the Renaissances in, and also maybe looking at some.
And I haven't shown you the prototype parts for the Electroline guitar yet.
I know.
Which I have hidden over in the corner.
That would have been a great cue for you to have gone. And so well, I mean, obviously that kind of leads us on to talking about the M1 and the history. I know that you probably get this. Well, actually, I've looked on YouTube and I've seen that you've been asked this question a million times. I know that we've asked you this question a million times about how you came to build the M1. So I'm going to do something slightly different. I'm not going to ask you that question because if you'd like to see the answer to that, then you can go onto
the stories are out there.
The stories are out there.
You could also go to my blog, rickturnerblog.com, and the story of getting together with Lindsay is on the blog there too. Yeah.
But what was amazing was when you came around, you went, and here is the first.
The bass.
Oh,
this is Alembic bass number 1.
Yeah.
Which I built for Jack Cassidy of the Jefferson Airplane and Hot Tuna. Started it in 1970, finished it in 71, and it has been modified since Jack got it, and I'm going to remodify it and get it back closer to the original way that it was. But this is wasn't the first bass that I built, but it's probably the most important one.
But the amazing thing about this particular bass guitar is that you could, in a way, we're going to have a tune now, we're going to have you singing a song. Was you could say that this was the kind of moment, the period that started it all. Because John McVie. You were in a studio, weren't you, at the time, doing some work on John's basses? Is that right?
Well, the way it goes is that in about 1974, I guess it was, John McVie got his first Alembic bass, and I think it was in the 30s. And then in 1976, when they were ensconced in Sausalito at the record plant, I got a call from John, could you come down to the studio and check out my basses and, come meet Lindsay and the band and, see if we need any help from you. So I went down. We got along famously, even though that was like the high drama sessions. And so I did some work on John's basses. Right about that time also was when John and Mick won their lawsuit with their former manager, who had put a bogus Fleetwood Mac on the road. When Peter Green left and they went through all these changes, and it was really down to John, Mick, and Christine. And their manager decided that he owned the name Fleetwood Mac, and he put this band together, put him on the road. John and Mick sued him. He countersued. All of their Warner Brothers royalties wound up going into escrow, while they were trying to Lindsay and Stevie are joining the band, and it's just crazy. So in the middle of these recording sessions, they won the lawsuit. Well, the floodgates of money opened up, for better or for worse, and John started buying Alembic basses again from me. So, and then also I was doing a lot of work on Lindsay's guitars. And in the course of that, Lindsay and I realized that we'd both come out of the sort of same folk music background. He playing with his fingers and being strongly influenced by John Stewart, who was with the Kingston Trio at one point. And I came to understand that Lindsay's ideal guitar would have the kind of fat sustain of a Les Paul, but the clarity of a Strat. And I started thinking about the things that people did not like about the Alembic guitars. They loved the basses and didn't like the guitars. And so it started me thinking about what the wood combinations would be that would get that tone to begin with. And then I started thinking about, can I make a one pickup guitar that has more tonal capability than most 2 or 3 pickup guitars? And came up with the idea of using the semi-parametric EQ along with a single pickup. And so, if I can jump out of the picture for just a second, here is the hulk of Lindsay's first Turner guitar. This has been broken. Lindsay got very animated for a while on stage.
This is the first M1.
It's the third. It's actually the third M1. It's Lindsay's first.
Wow.
Yeah, and so this has had the peg head replaced and tossed again and broken again. So Lindsay traded this one in, so it's mine now, and I will at some point restore it back to its more or less original glory, But yeah, so the idea was to do this arched top and arched back, which you can see if I aim it at the camera like that, and give it a nice chunk down the middle of the mahogany. And the original Turner guitars used, the neck was made from scrap cutoffs out of the back of Alembic necks. Because with the Alembic neck through body construction, there was always a piece of scrap that I looked at it and went, we can use those, you know. So I originally designed this to be an alembic guitar. When I left Alembic in 1978, the design came with me.
Amazing.
And so I set up another shop and started building them.
Wow.
And
is that a Brazilian?
This is a Brazilian rosewood. You know, in those days, it was just rosewood. You know, it was just. I didn't even think of it as being Brazilian. You know, so yeah, it's Brazilian rosewood.
Wow.
And you know, the Honduras mahogany body and the maple and purple heart neck. It did not originally have the overlaid backstrap overlay on here, and after one of the catastrophic breakages, we did that, only to have him
do it again.
Do it again, yeah.
Rick, I need another headstock. Rick, bring it back.
Yeah, well, I've got 3 original peg heads from which I showed you. Yeah. So that's probably been my retirement fund. Anyway.
So you must get such an overwhelming sense of pride when you see all this, you know, buzz around the M1 at the moment, and lots of people buying them and them coming in.
Well,
we had one, so we bought the matte black one in.
Yeah.
Came to the shop. We put a picture of, you know, obviously straight on the
Bye-bye.
website, and then straight onto Facebook, and then literally that morning it was gone. And that's amazing.
Yeah. Two of the most exciting moments for me with these guitars were when I took this one to Lindsay, and he was in rehearsals for the Tusk tour, and he picked it up. He was the only one there, played it for about an hour and a half, and then shouted to his guitar tech, Ray, you can leave the Les Paul and the Strat and the Ovation at home. This is all I need.
Make me more. Make me more.
Well, that was Mick came up and said, how soon can we have a backup? You know, Mick was very deeply involved in a lot of those choices in those early days of Lindsay and Stevie being in the band. He was acting very much as a musical director, producer of the band.
You always kind of get that feeling there.
Yeah, and he's very, very involved in a lot of those choices. Maybe not so much now that Lindsay has really emerged in his own light, but in those days, he was very deeply involved in those kinds of decisions. And luckily, you know, from having hung out with him in the studio, you know, the relationship is there with me and those guys. So it's great.
And seeing, well, it must have been, I can only imagine, you must have been there when they were recording and singing, playing your instrument, getting the tone and the variety.
Oh, yeah.
You're just thinking,
oh, yeah, that's
I've done my job.
That's why I do it for, you know, that's what I do it for, yeah.
It's such a versatile instrument, that's the thing, and all those sort of videos that we've ever done on them, you know, they are so versatile.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
How much can you get out of one pickup and one guitar, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been, this guitar has been very good to me.
Well, we have got some absolutely sensational M1s arriving this year, along with some Model Ts, some of the Renaissance guitars, the RS6s, and it just coming here to give everybody an idea, to come and be here at your workshop, meet all of your team. And you're right, you've got
these guys are great.
An incredible team of people here.
Yeah.
We're super excited that we're filming like a kind of, it's going to be like a mini documentary, I guess, on you and here, and it just, so for really, I'll wrap up because I don't want to go on too gushy. But I would love to say that it's such an honour to represent you and represent all of your instruments, and of course to be waving the Rick Turner flag over in the UK.
Thank you, Ben. We're really happy to have you on the team.
Thank you so much.
Great.
Cheers.